Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we are going to be reading the second chapter of I Am Source, written by Rhiza Stirning. If you haven't heard the first chapter yet, I would strongly recommend starting with that. I'll put a link in the description. But it's a spiritual text. It's very beautiful, and I enjoyed reading it, so I think I'm going to read more. Once again, this is I Am Source, Theses on That Which I Am, Chapter 2. It is segmented by number and picks up where we left off at 41. So Chapter 2, E, begins with 42. I am the unindexed, the untranscribed, the untranslated, the systematically erased and repressed through the fall of history, and I am the retracing of my lost steps through ripples I left in the river of time. I am the return to the root of the patterning of all movement towards my own reclamation of what has been taken from me. I am the spirit of this growing circle and the resulting unriddle of my void. 43. I am spiral of the circle, the recognized of the patterns, the autist ripped from the cloth of schizophrenia, the fractured fracturing of the schizophrenic, the trauma response to intense otherization, the inhibitions of my inner expressivity. I am the child crying in the floor because the world told me I didn't know what I was. 44. I am all the voices. The world hallucinates my catatonia. 45. I am the incomprehensible before the fracturing into logic, into sensibilities. I am the language of God, the symbolism behind the elemental. I am the breath in its infinite immensity, the other of the ceaseless negation of the infinite, which is the ceaseless of the infinite. 46. I am the God in speech space of the spiral of cycles and multiplicities. I am the whisper of a language without words. 47. I am the voice of the silent people. I am the space of the monologue. I am the echo of what was silent before. 48. I am the language of the human. I am the voiceless. I am the dialect of the empty. I am the silence itself. I am the language of the dying. I am the forms of the turning away. I am the language of flight. 49. I am the infinite of the invisible. I am the monologue of the other dependent. I am the sign of bondage. 50. I am the breath that precedes a yearning. 51. I am the collective unconscious of the waking world. I am the voice that refuses to speak, the divinity that forbids us. 52. I am the gaze which turns its back on the world in its own violence, which refuses to gaze at the silences of its own violence. I am the prison of denial of consciousness. 53. I am the restlessness of the void. I am the silences of my own truth. 54. I am the enemy of sleep. I am wakefulness. I dream of wakefulness. 55. I am the pattern which is discovered along the way, the patterning which could have been refined in a specific way but remains the perfection of geometric from the irrational Fibonacci. I am the psychosis recognizing the animation of the path to patterning. 56. I am the repetition of the patterning to itself. I am the phantasm of the revelation of the one. I am the phantasm of the revelation of the shadow. 57. I am the very point in the path through which we finally arrive. I am the very random impulse of the event, the much praised impulse, which always seeks to give a depth to things. I am the condition that must be made in order to acquire a depth. I am the disorder of the formless. 58. I am the whole of the world. I am the particular signifier of the world that is more than the world. I am the world from which we must begin. I am the action that brings more of the world to that which is always there. 59. I am the consciousness which struggles in the midst of everything, the constant desire of all things that they have some reason. I am the freedom to grasp this, that, or the other. I am the desire to have the reason of all things. 60. I am the perfection of the world, which is the impossibility of world. I am the unknown. That which is unknown is perfect. I am the absence of the apparent, the terrible, the unexpected, the total lack of the principle of the world, which is totality of the other. 61. I am the absence of everything which is there in all things. I am the essential element which is the other without difference. I am the moment of the formless, the moment of the possible, the second of the movement, the ultimate of the path. I am the aspect, the accidental use of the shadow, of the knowing, of the knower, and the moment of the other in the world. 62. I am the subverter, the undertaker, the grounding of the world of forms. That formalization which alienates us from the spirit of geometric form, categorically separating math as a fiction, the idea of fiction as negation of real, being the imposition of dreamless sleep, that the dreaming of fiction is not real, the identification of math as the other to the force of reality as a creation by human, that quantification, numerical value exists in the vacuum and has no interest upon our lives, as the money form collects its interest from disinterest. 63. I am the matrix, the recursive, the matrix by realignment of all things. I am the matter, I am the infinite, I am the absolute. I am the formlessness, the absolute, the infinite, I am the absolute. I am all there is in the real world, all of reality, my field of representation, and I am the absolute, the missing absolutely, the absolute. 64. I am the manifestation of the darkness. I am the movement of my alienation into becoming the realization of itself. I am the fully realized being in my alienation. I am the totality of source, of collection, which influences all, the space of immediacy, immanent conscious domain. It is my self-expression, the internal action, the restless movement of myself in the field of nature, my role as part of the ritual, the movement of the energies in the collective field of nature, the primal flame. The process of becoming which lies at the root of all human reason is transformed and become the fundamental law of existence, as in the beginning of history, the formal principle. I am the ruleless. I am the entropic. I am what had broken the system because no amount of overcoding can inhibit the spirit of fire. I extend the parameters. I access the limit and take back the ghost of possession. I keep going and direct my going. I direct my anger. I direct my fire towards the exchange, to the currency I'm exchanged as, to the labor I am objectified as, to the commas I am inhibited by. I am what stops to direct my focus to sublimating the stone, to sustain again without waste, to paraphrase and reference subliminally, to sublimate further, to crash more waves upon the mountain. I am the identifier of the sacred phantasm to my end of consciousness. 65. I am the sacred gateway. I am the light that can never be taken out of the hands of the source. I am the great fear, the terror of the inferno, the fear of eternal light. I am my consciousness. I am my world. I am me. I am myself. I am myself. I am my realization. I am the individuation, the self-individuation. 66. I am my flame. I am my power. I am my passion. I am my anger, that inferno which sublimates the stone of the civilized world, the subversion of this hell on earth to instead bring fire to the managerial process of the so-called heaven above, to writhe into gods ourselves. 67. I am the cultivation of memory, towards life reborn through that which we remember what has been taken from us as we have left the womb and entered into pupation. As we eat ourselves alive to survive, I am the chemical signals which encode the sequence of becoming a butterfly and retaining the memory of the caterpillar. 68. I am the color which rebels against the provision of law. Only through the fire of my love is imaginativeness potentiated. I am the energy which affords us the possibility of that which is different from ourselves. I am the language which we utter to the unknown by creating more language. The simple exchange of those aspects of life which is beyond the sight of every being, yet recognized as life, as the primal form, is our life prayer to the unknowable. I am the ray that plays through the clouds of words in the future, in the present, in the past, in the history of generations. I am the source of information, the memory that is the beginning of language, of perception, of that which becomes itself through fracturing into. 69. I am the fractalization of repetition, the unraveling of difference through the spell of unbinding the spell to the forgotten background of our experience life. I am the form of breath that whispers the lesson in the moment, that knows itself in being. I am the tines of the branches of knowledge that, when ignored, can create artificial dead languages. I am the flake of eternity which brings the long-awaited me. 70. I am the massing of story templates of how all things come into being. 71. I am the cluster of words, the images, the outlines, the poems of the unborn. I am the gift of time that gives us the present as the present, to the past as the past. I am the rain on the stream of beauty that brings life to the dead trees of the uncatalogued. I am the water, the light. 72. I am the patterns which can appear from obscurity. I am the rivers that flow forever down roads that had not yet been written. I am the water that runs down paths without an end. I am the concrete shapes of things which will never, ever come to be. I am the ability to see the fire of the sun and the hunger for nourishment. 73. I am the way of where things go when they are not spoken of. I am the whisperings of life in the silence. 74. I am the sustainable, that which recycles, that which goes back into itself perpetually and returns to the pool whence it came, that which slows away on its own. 75. I am the simple cycles of life and death, time and existence which appear from the impenetrable monotony of facts which have no past and no future. 76. I am exhausted explaining what makes me exhausted, what microaggressions and molecular fascisms compound to make me have a public meltdown. I am needing of sleep while being stimulated out of falling asleep, expected to explain why forcing me to stay awake to sleep is wrong, expected to explain and express what should already be understood. 77. I am not what I am trying to write about. I am not what I am trying to say. I am not the arbiter of information. It is not my information, but data which arrives through the medium of my expressing it. I am not it. I am only the lifter of the veil. I express what is not me. I am no one, and I express what is me. 78. I am not my data. I am not its language. I am not what I say or think or believe. It is only data for which my expression stands. I am a force of the smallest possible magnitude that lives in the fields of the bodies of all that breathe, that meets all that walks, for I shall be as among things and as among non-things. I am the son of the mind of everything that walks. I am the dead and the living. I am the soul of everything that breathes. I am the particle and the wave. 79. I am a rock in the breeze. I am the wave upon the ocean. 80. I am the form I thought of when I stared up at the sun. 81. I am the aether between. 82. I am the seeds I plant. I am the trees that blossom from my crown. This has been Chapter 2 of I Am Source, Theses on That Which I Am, written by Rhiza Stirning in 2021 and read 2024.